Let's have a soulful conversation. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Soulful Conversations with Frank and
Sheila Battle.
We are back.
Yay!
Yes, we are back. It's been a long time, but we're
and
back.
We shouldn't have left you.
Yeah, we do apologize for the time that we've been away. There's been a lot of things going on.
Okay, so let's catch up. What's been happening, Mr. Frank? Let's see. First of all, thank you to everybody who subscribed, downloaded the podcast. I believe the Quickie episode is still the number one.
Yes, it is.
Episode, which is part of the reason why we've been a little busy. We appreciate not because we was having a quickie. Gotta stop. See, he laughing, and we got a guest in the studio, so we're gonna behave. But the quickie episode started quite a stir, and gave us an opportunity to have some soulful conversations with couples about marriage and communication. And so we thank God for all of the folks who have come through the battle station in the last 30 to 45 days, especially, and for all of you. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
On top of that, school started.
Yeah, school started, and we have a senior and we have a freshman. We have both kids in high school, which is, ugh.
I just need all the mama bears to send warm wishes to me, because
she's really
I am struggling.
She's struggling. We did a college tour, and it was I don't know.
It was a lot of hooping and hollering and the weeping and the wailing, but we got through it. It was 400 miles in one day. Yeah. 400 miles and 5 schools in one day.
In the beautiful state called God's country, called North Carolina.
North Kakalaki.
And so we
It's okay if you laugh. We got somebody in the studio and she's trying not to laugh. It's so funny. We're gonna introduce her. Yeah, but Trinity is 17. She will be 18 in less than 60 days, and she is preparing to leave the nest, and I am trying to figure out how that's going to work, because she can't live here and go to school in North Carolina. But clearly we need to figure out how to make that happen. And Zion is a freshman, and giving them folks a fit.
Yeah, we giving the folks a fit.
She's classic Zion form.
She's going to a specialty school, and so we've dealt with that. We have endured a tornado.
Yes, we had the tornadoes touch down. We thank God for keeping
far from us. We had a neighbor to
literally 2 houses down.
Yeah, so that was that's what's been going on.
Pretty dramatic. Was in here on the floor.
Yeah,
praying and talking to Jesus.
Trying to get our children, didn't get them home till about 7:45, so that was an experience. So there's a lot more, but we won't bore you all with that.
But we got some upcoming stuff. We have some upcoming stuff. So
we're glad
October is the I Am conference. Dicey Patrice Moore is having the I Am conference at M3 Church the last weekend in October. I believe the dates are the
26th and 27th.
26th and the 27th. Yeah. And Big Frank will be bringing the word for the fellas. We're excited and praying for the event. The I Am conference is a critical, integral part of the evolution of the battle station, and definitely for ministry for me personally. The famous I Am Chosen, I Am Enough, and I Am a Daughter was launched publicly through Dicey Ministries. It was going on for over a decade before that, but having that platform to be able to share that message and really launch it from my heart in a public space was amazing. And this year she has asked Mr. Frank to come and minister. And so it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. So that's October. And then November,
we have a couples event with our friends at the Arts
Community Center. Cindy and Amir have asked us to come. They are hosting 50 couples. I think it's their anniversary as well in November. Yep. And so they asked us to come. And I think we're going to talk about the quickie thing again. Yeah. We'll talk about the quickie thing. And some other stuff. Because we're trying not to just be known as the quickie couple.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing you want to be.
Yeah, we'll try to put that information out on the Battle Station on our Facebook page and website, so you'll know more about that.
Yes, and not to get too far down away from the current date in December, we have TEDx Grace Street Women. For those of you who are familiar with the Battle Station and with SheilaBattle.com, you know that I had the blessed opportunity to participate in TEDx RVA during the 2016 season. And this year we are working behind the scenes a little bit and helping with the infrastructure of how you pull off a TED event. And I think I can announce that I am the MC for this year's event. So it's going to be exciting. We are anxiously approaching rehearsals and coaching speakers and finding sponsors and all kinds of stuff. So if you are a TED head, if you are one of those people who love TED events, we're going to put the link for you to get tickets. And if you are a woman-owned business or a majority owner in a business and you want to be a sponsor for TEDx Grace Street Women, we'll put that information out there as well. It's going to be an incredible event. It is amazing exposure for those who want to be sponsors. And then it's just a good time. It's just an awesome opportunity to bring a global event to Richmond. So we're excited.
Yeah.
And then it'll be Christmas.
Yeah.
And then it'll be New Year's.
Yeah. So you can see it's a lot of stuff been going on. But we are so glad to be back. We actually missed you all.
Yes, we did.
We actually did.
We talk about y'all.
So thank you for all the emails and
text messages, inboxes.
You know, some people fussed.
Some people fussed. And we took it. We took it like big kids.
So we're back, and we're going to do our best to stay consistent. But like I said, we just had to go through and do some of those things that needed to be taken care of.
Family first.
And here we is.
And we have a guest in the studio.
Yes, we do.
So, this lady is amazing. So we were in a church that we bonded with, and just fell in love with each other. And I remember we were in a service one night, and the worship was going forth. It was a prayer service. And before I knew it, somebody was crawling across the chairs, like with their shoes on, y'all.
Standing in the chairs.
Standing up with her shoes on. She was climbing across the rows to get to us.
In the chairs.
And God gave her such a clear prophetic word for us that there was no question that she is a gift to the body of Christ and to us. And so we fell in love, and we've been hanging out ever since. And that was 4 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
That was 4 years ago. Like your babies were littler. And we love her and her husband in the studio tonight. We have Miss Melanie Parker.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
All the way from the metropolitan Goochland County.
Oilville. Like where exactly is it?
The land of Gooch.
The land of the Gooch.
The Gooch.
The Gooch.
You know, Frank tried to tell people that I'm from Goochland because he don't want to admit that I'm from Philly.
She's
right.
from Goochland.
I'm not from Goochland.
No.
Not shout out to Goochland. There's nothing wrong with Goochland. Goochland is beautiful. So is that technically where you live? Because you really do have to like go potty and pack a lunch to get to your house.
Yes. That is technically exactly where I live.
Okay. And you are married to the fantabulous
Jeremy Parker. We will have celebrated 15 years of marriage next week.
Woo! 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 We love marriage.
Yeah.
We love Jeremy. Let me tell you something funny about Jeremy. Jeremy is stronger than the average bear. My husband is 6'5", and I'm not going to say how much he weighs, but Jeremy picks him up off the floor.
Every time he sees
Every time.
I
think it's hilarious.
So
Jeremy thinks it's hilarious.
So can you
That's why he
imagine?
keeps doing it.
He's shorter than Frank, and he's probably weighs less than Frank, but he picks Frank up off the floor.
And like the first time it happened, I was like, what is going on? Who is this guy?
Like, this is the way we fellowship. Okay. We just pick people up off the floor.
And Jeremy is a very smart dude with all kinds of gadgets.
He's MacGyver.
He's MacGyver.
Absolutely.
He can
He
make
is
it
the
work.
modern day MacGyver.
Yeah.
If you give him some bubble gum,
Give him a stick,
and some
he
bubble
gonna
gum
make
and
a
stick and a
A
rubber band, he
weapon of
can make a
mass
bomb.
destruction.
Shout out to you, Jeremy. Thank you so much for letting your beautiful bride come and hang out with us. I promise as soon as we're done, we're going to get her on the road. So the other cool thing about Melanie is she came equipped with the ability to put up with me, which usually takes people a lot longer to do. But somehow or another, it didn't take her long at all. And I went from
you too much.
You too much. Your muchness is too much. We talk about that in the book too. But I was in the throes of recovering from 15 Minutes of Grace going global and knew that I needed to get this book done. And Melanie her foot was perfectly sized for my behind to stay on me about getting it done. And so we are closer than we've ever been. We are closer than we've ever been. We are in draft stage and getting some final edits done. The goal is to have the book published and printed before the TEDx event in December. But those early days were horrific. And yet Melanie had the patience and the resilience to come here and sit on the floor with me. We were not sitting on big brown sofas. We was in this room that's now the studio, and we were sitting on the floor, and we were taping the dialogue because I kept saying, I just can't sit and type out a book, but I can talk it out. And so she came and she asked me, and we have hours and hours and hours of audio. And so I just want to publicly say thank you.
Thank you. I think one of the things we talked about in those sessions was why 15 minutes of grace and why not. And one of the things I remember asking you about that, like why 15 minutes of grace? What's different about this? What is it about this that's transformative? And what is it about it that's made a difference in your life? And I remember sitting in this room and you looked at me and you asked me the same question. And I said, what else is there like it? What else is that invasive and transformative, but in a way that is beautiful and whole and good and individual and deep and so many different things that there's really nothing like it. So that, prayer is good and the word is good and, different studies are good and different books are good, but there's nothing so unique as that.
Right.
And that's the reason my foot has not left your behind.
My hinder parts.
And nor will it, because it is, as we've been talking about, one of the reasons I think God joined us together.
Yeah. So do you do 15 Minutes of Grace? I'm going to put you on the spot.
Not as often as I wish I did.
That's honest. Because the truth is, it doesn't show up in my life every day exactly the same either.
Right.
And I think that's the beauty of it. Even after all of this time, God is still forming and shaping and developing what 15 Minutes of Grace looks like on me, in me, through me. And so I actually appreciate it when people say, well, no, I don't do it every day, but I do it. And when I do it, I can tell the difference.
Well, it's like you and I have talked about the work only works when you work it, with any kind of program. But that if I'm honest, that the times that I don't do it are the times where I feel like my emotional train is long. And if I keep up the momentum, I can sustain the lie that I'm doing okay. But I know if I stop, that all that train behind me is going to run me over the head. And I don't know that I have the energy and grace to deal with it, which is also a lie, because I know I have been given everything that I need. It is choosing to lay down the lie that it is all up to me. And I think that's a lie that we all struggle with. I
Right.
can't speak for men and what they struggle with because I ain't never been one.
You're
I
in
don't
the vein.
intend to be one. But
you're in the vein. Keep going. Yeah.
yeah, I think the sitting down is hard because it's where you realize I need help and I can't keep doing this. But if you just keep running and you just keep up with the momentum, you're eventually going to run out of gas and you're going to crash and burn. But in the meantime, it's a coping strategy. It's not one that's good. It's not one that works. And when I do make myself do the 15 minutes of grace, I see a difference. I know I'm a better wife. I'm a better mom. I'm kinder to myself. I'm more available to be present with other people. But sometimes you just stay on the treadmill and just pretend you don't see all that stuff back there. It don't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So let's go there since you done stepped all in a whole bunch of stuff. But
and the thing about it is she does that all the time, just in regular conversation.
Yes, regular conversation. She just, it's like Helen. It's just a different version of Helen. Yeah. So let's talk about the lie. Is it just that it's easier to believe the lie than to do the work? Is it really just that simple about why we stay stuck in places far too long? We wear out our own welcome with our sense of discomfort and dis-ease with things that are happening in our lives. The lie is not even a good lie, but yet we're like, yeah, I'll have what she's having. Let's just keep doing that versus breaking all of that apart. Why do you think that is?
For me, I can't speak for other people, but I think my condition is common to mankind, at least womankind, where I've got so many perceived plates spinning that if you stop and you rest, the lie is it's all going to fall apart and you will have a mess and you will be foolish. Like everybody will say, wow, she really just blew it all. Like she didn't just drop one ball. She dropped all of
the
them.
plates. All the plates fell.
And we all want to be perceived as valuable and efficient and successful and strong and gifted and all those things. I think we forget how much we value the authenticity of somebody who just loses it on purpose and says, you know what? I can't keep doing this.
Right.
I can't keep doing this. And I need help and I need to stop it. I need to stop lying. Like we've talked about, stop lying. You do not have it all together. Ain't nobody got it all together. And it's okay. You weren't meant to have it all together. You were meant to live and breathe in community. And so if you're struggling by yourself, it's because you by yourself. Mm-hmm. Stop lying.
Stop lying. And so do you think that that's the other side of the this is just easier coin, is that it's fear-based. We're so afraid to be that vulnerable because authenticity is cool when you're talking about coins. Nobody wants fake money, but there's a depth to authenticity that requires vulnerability. And when you don't feel like you have safe space with people, or you don't feel like you have safe people, you will keep those plates spinning because you can't let this group know and that group know and the other group know. Like the ladies at church can never know.
Right. ...
The folks at work can never know. ... My family could never know. ... And we're so busy doing all of that. Talk to me about how valuable having safe community has proven to be for you.
It's crucial. it's crucial. It is. And when we went through a season of transition of moving, and it was a huge season of loss for me, in 2015, my father passed away, followed by a friend passing away, followed by my husband changing jobs. We had to leave. We felt led to move, which meant changing churches, changing schools, changing jobs, changing
community,
changing everything, and I was very comfortable in the community that I was in and the roles that I held in ministry and the roles that I held in my life in general. I was very comfortable and had that community. And so when I was in a season of grief, I felt like my community was taken from me, which added significantly to the depth of my grief. I felt alone, and I felt sinking into a really not good place. And I remember my husband saying, you really need to connect more with the women out here, and you need to make relationships. And it was like, it's not that simple, because I'm in a place of pain. I can't, you got to earn that place for me to go there. And, I need to know this is safe. And, and they are great people. And I do have that community there now. But it was, I was torn between the community that was and the community that wasn't yet. And I was in a place where I needed to be authentic, and I needed that safe place. And you were definitely one of those safe places. And I was more than happy to drive the not so vast, but in some people's mind, the vast distance all the way back to Chesterfield to be with you, because one, I knew we were going to have good food, and it was going to be good. We were laugh and clap our hands and dance and shut down a restaurant somewhere, and it was going to be good. But it was that community was so necessary to me. I needed a place where one, we've talked a lot about covenant relationship, you and me, and that it's so much better when you let God choose your friends. And in those seasons, I think we were the unlikely couple, but God said, no, this is the path you're going to walk on, and you're going to walk on it together. And, we both buried parents, we both changed jobs, and lots of life transition has happened since we met, and God knew that we were just going to need each other. And that is beautiful and good to me. But in the absence of that community, I had the ability to be whoever I wanted to be, which in some ways is freeing, but it can lead to really bad coping, because you can be who you want to be, and you need somebody in your life that can look at you and say, stop lying.
Stop playing.
Stop playing. Like, I see your blind spots. I see you. This is not who you are. Stop playing. What's going on? Matter of fact, let me just tell you, I know what's going on, and this is what you need to, what you need to do. And I'm not going to let you be who you're not.
Right.
And I'm not going to let you be who you're not called to be, and who you're not made to be. And what is it you need to do that's life-giving, and what can I do to be that gentle pressure on your behind to get you there? But at the same time, space to grieve, and, space to be what you need to be on that healing journey. I think without that, we flounder, and we can, then you got to pick up a habit or a lie or a coping. You got to pick up something to keep you going. And it's not the healthy choices are not the easy choices.
Right. Nobody wants to eat the broccoli.
Jeremy especially asking.
Lima beans, Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts are breaking in the cranberry sauce and the balsamic.
Are making a comeback. Okay. So I want to tap into something because I am, my husband and I are blessed to have really, really unique relationships with people regardless of race or culture. And I think one of the things that I hope people get out of seeing you and I together, seeing me and Marty Williams together. Hey, Marty. That's my sway partner. We dance in parking lots together. I think I hope what people see is that once you lay down your list of where you think safe community is for you,
right,
and once you lay down all of your biases and lay down your, oh, it has to be this way. And if it's not this way and these people, then it's not going to work.
Right.
I hope when people look at us together that they see the authentic, genuine love, first of all. But then I hope that it makes them pause and go, well, maybe safe community has been around me all along.
Right.
And I didn't tap in because of my own biases, because of my own preconceived notions and judgments. In case y'all didn't notice, Melanie's white. You would not know that we were not sisters. If someone saw us in a restaurant, I mean, we eat off each other's plate. We doing the most. We are doing the most.
We forewarn our servers. We will be here for hours.
We will be here a long time.
We're ordering lots of food.
Don't bother coming back 10 times. We're going to tip you good. We're going to tip you good. Just put the food down and move.
Right.
Bring the water. Like, just bring some water when the glasses get empty. But I really do. And I mean, we don't do it for show. We order tiramisu and we both eat out of it. Like like it's crazy.
It's necessary. It's communion.
It's beautiful. It's communion.
It's communion. It's like our communion bread, right?
Yeah. Tiramisu communion.
Pass the cup. It's broken for you. The tiramisu is broken for you. So I hope we don't do it for show. When I'm with Marty, it's not for show. Mm-hmm. And it's no different when I'm with my Lisas.
Right.
But how has that been for you? Because I had a Marty before I had a Melanie. So I was kind of already in that groove and really not caring what people thought or how it looked to people. And never, especially with Marty, like, because Marty is absolutely crazy. So never thought twice about how is this affecting her? Is she having a residual from this that's negative? And I've never asked you that. Have you ever had somebody go, really? Like, tilt their head and go, that's odd. Because we are the odd couple. I mean, I'm tall, she's short, you know, she's white, I'm black, I'm loud, she's not. Like, it depends.
I'm not quiet.
It depends. So how has that been? How has it been for you to find community and safety in a place or in a person that you least expected, maybe? Beautiful. Or maybe you didn't. Maybe you did expect it. I don't know.
Nope, I didn't see it coming at all. But I loved it. I have always loved it because, one, I think you are one of the most authentic people that I've ever met, and that you want to reach out into somebody's soul, whether you can help it or not, and be like, I just want to touch this right here because I think if I did, maybe you could be a little bit further on your journey, and that's why I'm here. So I'm just going to do that. And it's why people just say, can I hug you? And they don't even know, or can I just tell you my life story? You just seem like the kind of person I should do that to. And I love that. And I think that's beautiful. And to watch God move in and through you, to me, is amazing. But as far as the race side of it, I don't care. But I think it's, at the same time, where I grew up was a very small town. There was a ton of racial tension. You know, I have family from a nearby state that shall remain unnamed, but is very known for its not racial diversity and not racial inclusion, and have been a lot of times the solitary voice against that in my family. And not proud of that, but I can't change that for them. But I will change it for my children. And so to me, it's been beautiful to be able to experience life in your family and to experience different things with you, and go places where with you, where you're talking, or speaking in engagement. And I am absolutely the only white person there. Nobody knows what to do with me, but I don't care. And so I think I love mixing it up because it makes people think. I hope it makes people think, why am I not comfortable with that? What's going on with me? Like, what is it about that? Like, this to me is the body of Christ. And I love going to different cultures. That's why I love doing missions. It's like, people talk about, I'd love to travel here or travel there. Like, I'll travel anywhere. Like, I can't really think anywhere on the globe except maybe Antarctica that I'm like, don't send me, but maybe send me with a really good jacket. Like, I love the different cultures. I think each of them reflect God a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I actually remember the first time I was serving as a summer missionary in college at a children's home, and I went to, it was my first experience going to an all Black church, and it was Women's Sunday, which not at all what I ever experienced growing up. Like, women were in the nursery and that was it.
Right.
And for me as a woman, just in awe.
Right.
And I remember that service lasted like 7.5 hours. I don't know how long it was, but it was long. But it felt like 30 minutes to me because I was like, yes. But that experience to me was so beautiful, and that I felt welcomed in a community that was not at all like my own. So no, I don't, I'm sure I have seen people look at us like in restaurants, like say, what? Mm-hmm. But I hope it makes them think.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. And I was going to ask you about it, but you just touched on it, because I'm sure that happens a lot.
I'm sure it does. And I've even said to Sheila, I remember we were in a restaurant, and I was like, everybody's looking at us. She's like, I didn't notice. I was like, I noticed, but I don't really care. I just think it's funny. And, I think it goes back to the whole concept of covenant relationship that we talked about, where it's like, if you let the community that's supposed to be your community rise up, and you submit yourself to that, then it is so much more beautiful than if you pick and choose the people that you think have it together, who probably have that same long emotional train that they're not dealing with, and they're trying to keep up with what that exterior looks like, so everybody doesn't think that they're falling apart on the inside. If you let them be your community, then there's so much insecurity. There's so much playing to perception, and nobody's really finding themselves. But when you submit to the community that rises up, that when you're ready, then you get the real deal, and everybody can stop lying and stop pretending, and then you get rubbed off on in a way that's so beautiful, and you get to be the truest version of yourself that you may not even have known existed because of all the barriers and walls you grew up with, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, girl. I mean, this journey with you is, like I said, it feels like it's been way longer than 4 years, but for you and I to have gone through so much together, and to have been so unashamedly intimate about it. Like, absolutely, we have had the hardest conversations about everything from race to death to God to, do you think God's a woman? I mean, like, all of it. Like, what do you think race really means? And all of that. I mean, we've done that work. And so I hope what people see when they see us is the residue of that. Right. That it really is genuine, that it really is, I got her back. And if I'm not noticing who's looking, but you better not say nothing to her, because then we're going to have a problem, because I am taller than her. Yes. But I think that in the times that we are living in, specifically right now, specifically right now, it is so important for people to see that, not because it's me and you, but because it is a true reflection of God's heart. It really is a reflection of God's heart. And my kids think you are just as much their auntie as anybody else, including my sister. And it's because they see our love for each other. Right. And they know that's my auntie, and she loves my mom, and my mom loves her. And our husbands just have to deal with the fact that we don't get home till midnight when we have dinner. Like, dinner starts at 6, and 6 hours later, we're getting home. All I have to say is I'm going to be with Sheila tonight. And he knows that means I'll see you in the morning. See you in the morning. But that's it'll be okay. See you in the morning. See you in the morning. But at the same time, it's that the safety of that, of knowing, and I know I've done it to you and you've done it to me, where I am slipping and I am hiding from myself, and I'm lying, and I'm lying to me, and I'm lying there, because of whatever's going on. And I just don't feel like I can deal with it. Right. And so, for whatever reason, I'm slipping into who I'm not. And I'll get a text from you, or you'll get a text from me saying,
Why will you not get off my mind? What is going on
Right.
with you? And if you don't answer my text, I'm calling you. And if you don't call me back, I'm coming to
show
your
up to
house.
or I'm gonna show up at your job.
Right, because I know
Melanie
you're
will show up.
hiding. And
Melanie
we've done
will
it.
show up at your
We
job.
have shown
She will show up at your job.
I will. But at least I bring you food. So
You do.
I know you'll be happy.
And I'll
But
dance.
there's such safety in that. There's risk in that and there's vulnerability in that, but there's safety in that. I think that's the piece that we miss is that we want that.
I think the big thing is not only do we want it, we need it. Because when I think about how many women I talk to in a day, in a week, and the answer is probably in the next cube over.
Right.
2 doors down, the apartment upstairs. But because it's not packaged like they want it, they don't engage, they don't connect, they don't even bother. And I'm so grateful that you and I cut through the foolishness and just saw each other and was like, yeah, I'll have what she's having. Whatever's going on, okay, I got you. And not just in word, but in deed.
Absolutely.
And so, again, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that this conversation has you scratching your head a little bit and thinking about the people who are in your life, not just the people who sit at the table of your life, but the people who are in the peripheral.
The side parts.
The side parts. Did I say that right? Peripheral.
Well, I'm going to ask Mr. Frey a question. So I want you in this conversation. So how do you feel like it's different for men to engage in those covenant relationships? Like, do you feel like it's easier for men to be like, yeah, whatever it is, what it is, I'm going to be who I am? Or is it the same? I know you've never been a woman. We're thankful for that.
No.
But you live with one, so you know.
Right.
But
You live with a bunch of women.
you live with a bunch of women.
No, it's just like, I know with men, a lot of times we some of us are open to it. And then you kind of, like you mentioned, that authenticity, like when you sense that, when you get a brother who can, come to you and have a conversation and be real, and the transparency is there, but it takes time. Yeah. It's not something that's going to like automatically come, but it's like over time, once you start to realize, this is somebody that I feel like I can trust. And we teeter a little bit. We'll throw a little something out to see how it works, and then from there, you get to the point of building that relationship more and more comfort comes with it, and that's when you find out, hey, this is a good guy, this is a good brother. We'll hang out, and it's just like when Jeremy and I met, same thing. It just over time, he was there in our transition, and I held back a lot, but he was just there waiting. And then as time went by and we began to share more, he shared that you all had a transition in your life. And, I shared some things with him. And over time, it just flourished into a relationship that way I felt I can trust this guy.
So what would you say to a guy or a lady who's probably the same, but more, I guess, man to man for a guy that's out there and wants community, but, it may not be the manly thing to say, hey, I kind of need a best friend. Would you like to be my best friend? Do you know what I mean? Like how does a man go about creating that community?
It's a thing where, it just takes time. You have to kind of avail yourself to those opportunities,
right.
And me, I'm the introvert. And so even in that, shout out to all the introverts out there. You do have to, you kind of pace yourself and you avail yourself to those opportunities. There is a tremendous trust factor in a comfort. And once you kind of get past that a little bit, give it more time, then you'll see if this is something that you can continue moving forward with. But there are some things, every man is different. Some people have had relationships that are, somebody maybe, lied on them or told some of their business or whatever, and they got their guard up and they're just like, I ain't doing that again.
I think women have the same thing.
Same thing,
Yeah.
And then once you start letting your guard down slowly, you can start to kind of build, like you mentioned, I think you mentioned earlier about the bricks being put up little by little. And then you kind of say, okay, this is maybe a late relationship that potentially could be fortified with trust. And then from there, it builds on to something that's a little more, where you can be a little more transparent. And it takes time. I know for me it does. I just don't, I'm not open with everybody, to be honest. I'm being honest. But I'm open to opportunities, but you do have to kind of measure and use some wisdom and discernment as it relates to who to share and what to share.
I think that balance between discernment and fear is a thin line.
It is a thin line.
Well, I wonder how men get there. Because, with me and you, it was, you like to eat? I like to eat. Let's go eat. And you know what I mean? Like, and then it was like, oh, I love you. I love you too. And then it was like, boom. But
I think we both hit in a season where we knew we needed something else. And we were ready for God to change the table of who sits at our life. Who sits at the table of our life, and what does community look like? And I think it was just that God thing, like, when you're ready.
Or we could have just been so desperate. No, I don't want to say it like that. But sometimes you are. But sometimes you are so, you crave connection so deeply that when you recognize that someone can match you in that way,
right,
that it doesn't take long.
Right.
And I think
I would agree with that.
I think with guys sometimes, never been a man, but I think with guys sometimes, they don't have to court each other as long. He said it takes time, but it doesn't have to. They don't have to court each other, maybe as long as like our fathers. Like our fathers, just all of us have fathers from that generation where you just didn't do that.
Right.
We don't cry together. We ain't going there like that together. We're gonna fist bump and we're gonna keep it moving. But I think men now see what is missing in that. And it's not taking them as long. They're not waiting until they 60 to talk. They're not waiting until they 50.
Hopefully.
That's true.
But
to like with men, the right connection and community can be a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
It can be a powerful thing. I know we've had, life groups where nobody knew one another, and then relationships like Kenny Timley, shout him out.
Shout out.
Relationships were built just in that setting in a life group.
Right.
Because there was a common thread that was mentioned in the discussion in that community, and then later in the parking lot. The conversation.
And a willingness to be vulnerable.
Right, and a willingness to be vulnerable. And then it followed up again with something else, and then later with something else. Then it was like, okay, go. So it just happened, Right. And so I think with men a lot of times it's got to happen. It's just got to happen.
It's just got to happen. So I think the big lesson, the big takeaway that we hope you guys walk away with is keep your eyes open, keep your heart open, live open-heartedly, and not through the filter of your biases, because the person who has the words of healing or revelation or insight could be the person you least expect.
Right.
It could be the absolute person that you least expect, and you could be missing out on the fullness of a blessing simply because you think this isn't the right person, or this person isn't the right race, they aren't the right gender, they aren't the right height, they don't live in the right neighborhood. They don't have the right title. They don't have the right position. So surely they can't be the person, when nothing could be further from the truth. It could just be an amazing journey. And it has been an amazing journey with you. I like to say that it wasn't grief that drew us together.
No.
It was the willingness to grieve. We were both willing to do it.
Yeah.
As opposed to we'd seen grief on ourselves previously and knew we don't want to do it like that again.
Well, I don't think we were fully in those seasons of grief, but God knew they were coming.
Oh, yeah.
And we needed each other. And I think that the family of God does not look like me, and it does not look like you, but it looks like all of us. And if your circle looks like you, talks like you, and lives like you, then you're probably missing some things.
Absolutely.
So get out of your bubble.
Get out of the bubble.
Yeah, because there are other perspectives out there.
And there are other bubbles.
Yeah.
And I think, to quote my brother-in-law, who I had a great conversation with this past weekend, he said, if we can all agree that none of us have mastered theology, we can have a great conversation.
Wow.
And then it's not a fight. It's not an argument. It's not who wins. but let's grow.
Yeah. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a soulful conversation.
A soulful conversation. With
Thank you, Miss
you.
Melanie. Always a pleasure to have you at the battle station. I love
Always
you
a
so
pleasure
much.
to be
She
here.
came with a gift. She messed me up. We were at a festival together, and I saw an authentic piece of African tapestry, and I touched it and heard something, and I shared it with her. And then I walked away, and I was like, okay, if it's there when I come back, then it's for me, and I'm going to get it. And when I came back,
You
it was
would not
gone.
have bought it. You
It was
would not.
gone. And I was like, And so I was like, okay, it wasn't for me. Then it wasn't for me.
See, I knew
and she
you, and I
showed
knew
up.
that you were looking at the tag, thinking of all the babies you could feed, or peanut butter and jelly off of that. But what if I use this for this money and not for me? And I think it was right that your community said no. He will prepare a table before you wherever you are, and it doesn't have to be you that prepares the food. So this is why we're together.
When you can't say amen, you just say, ouch.
Or thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's,
All right, Mr. Frank.
it's beautiful too.
It is beautiful. It's a
see
beautiful.
it.
We should take a picture of it and post it with this video so people can see it, because it is a beautiful piece of tapestry. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, Mr. Frank, I think we are done.
We are done. We thank everyone for listening, and ask that you just share this with someone. Think about what's been said here. Be a friend, make a friend.
Be a friend and make a friend.
And if we all be friends, we'll all have community.
Well, there you look there for a little slow.
There it
there.
is.
If you all
Frank.
make friends, we'll all have community.
We'll have community.
And we'll have safe
Words of
community.
wisdom.
Safe
We'll have safe
community,
community.
because safe
Absolutely.
community is needed.
Is needed.
Absolutely.
Is needed. Well, thank you again so much, Miss Melanie. We
Absolutely.
appreciate you driving all the way from Bus Tussle to be here with us.
The
Want to make
I packed a
sure.
snack and I went to the bathroom.
Yes, we want you to make sure you go potty and pack a snack before you go. And to all of you out there who tune in, like, share this video. I mean, this podcast. I'm sorry, because we keep talking about doing YouTube for this, but we're working on it, y'all. Please continue to share, to like, to download, and to leave comments.
Yes. Comments are welcome.
Comments are welcome because they help with the way you are ranked on the various platforms. So, if you have any questions about this podcast, we can be reached at
info@thebattlestation.org. I actually had a moment where I did not remember that. That's tell you how long it's been. info@thebattlestation.org. You can go to thebattlestation.org as well. But we do ask that you share, like, whatever platform you're using. Just again, share it with a friend and leave a comment. And just keep it going. Keep the conversation going on your end.
Yes.
We thank each and every one of you for listening. And we look forward to talking with you soon.
Be Well, family.
Be well.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.